interning at the Northern Arizona Climate Change Alliance. And yeah, kind of throughout the summer and this year, I've been researching the possibility of implementing a tool lending library in the Verde Valley. So this will just be a little bit of information about what a tool lending library is, what some benefits of it are, and then also how we could implement it specifically in the Verde Valley. First off, what is a tool lending library? It's similar to a regular library, except instead of lending out books, it lends out tools. And basically, you can check out tools at a physical location using something similar to a library card. So, super similar to what a real library might be, except with tools and lending them out. And there's a lot of different benefits of having a tool lending library. And one of those is because it helps to achieve the three key elements of sustainability, which are environmental, social, and economic. And the really cool part about a tool lending library is that it can actually help to achieve each one of these factors in a lot of different ways. And ideally, if all these factors are valued and implemented equally in a community, then they can help to contribute to the creation of a sustainable community. And that's kind of the overarching goal here as well. So first off, with the environmental benefits, there's definitely quite a few. So a tool lending library helps to reduce consumption and it also helps people to reduce their carbon footprint. And the reason that it helps people reduce consumption is because it serves as a single location that allows people to lend out free tools and it gives people a lot greater of accessibility to tools. And so this prevents people from needing to buy new tools. So if they need something, they can go to the tool library as opposed to going out and buying something. And then it also prevents the duplication of tools from household to household. So each household might have similar tools and they might be using those tools every once in a while, but maybe not as frequently as they actually could be used. And so by reducing consumption, it also helps to reduce waste because a lot of these tools are being reused and they're being used to the maximum of their lifetime. And then it also reduces the need for extra storage space. So instead of having a garage space or a tool shed, this serves as a place that can keep those tools for everyone, especially the bigger tools that no one really wants to have a big storage space for. And so, yeah, so it also reduces the storage space. And there's actually a tool library in Edinburgh, Scotland, that calculated that their tool library has so far helped to reduce carbon emissions by approximately 50 tons of carbon in the last 18 months. So it definitely can directly help to reduce carbon footprint. And so next up is the economic benefits. And it has the potential to promote business actually within the Verde Valley. And the reason for this is because it allows more people to have a greater accessibility to tools. And so it actually can promote people to might not have even thought they could do because they didn't have the tools for it or they didn't have the money to buy those tools. And so they also need materials for this, which can actually boost business at hardware stores. And I interviewed a few different tool lending libraries, and one of the biggest concerns they faced was from hardware stores and how that might impact their businesses. And what actually all of them ended up finding was that implementing a tool library boosted business at those hardware stores because people were starting more DIY projects. They were buying wood, nails, things like that. So it actually helped business within hardware stores around the area. And it also has the potential to save money for the city as well as organizations within the community by sharing tools and resources as opposed to buying new items. So there's a really awesome potential to really network with a lot of other people and just get some broader connection and share those resources as opposed to each group or each organization having their own individual resources. And so last up here is the social benefits. There's a lot of social benefits of a tool library, and some of them are that it promotes trust, inclusivity, and empowerment within the community. So one of the biggest things is that it helps to give lower income individuals the opportunity to have greater access to more tools and resources. And it can actually be a way to promote sustainable living. So one of the things that's really cool about tool libraries is their ability to have workshops and host different workshops. And these workshops can help to promote empowerment by teaching people how to use specific tools. Maybe if they were scared before, there's workshops for how to use those tools, or teaching them specific skill sets. So maybe they know how to use those tools, but they don't know how to do a specific project. And so these workshops can really help to promote empowerment for people who might be scared to use a certain tool or scared to start a certain project. And one of the big things that we would like to do with workshops is promote more sustainable living. So maybe hosting workshops on gardening or rainwater collection and things like that within the community. And so, what would this look like in the Verde Valley specifically? So, just a few little facts of kind of the details. The membership would be based on the location of residency or workplace. And so, ideally, what we're hoping is that if you work in the Verde Valley, or you're resident in the Verde Valley, that you would have free membership to the tool library. And initially, we're thinking it would be run by volunteers and maybe oversighted by a head volunteer or a staff member. There's different possible locations, and one includes the Sedona Public Library, so working with them. And to start off, tool donations would definitely be greatly appreciated and would help provide that initial foundation for the tools that the tool library would offer. And then in terms of funding, there's crowdfunding, running different table events, but that's kind of the initial startup of how the tool library would work. And so we've done a survey actually that's out right now about the tool library and who might be interested in it. And so far, the majority of our respondents do live in Sedona. Sedona was also more heavily pulled because that's also where we had that outreach group. And so we're definitely still looking for more survey results from that. That's an ongoing thing. But yeah, the majority is in Sedona, and the next step is Cottonwood, and then a few other areas where people are interested in the Verde Valley. And then this was a result of the likelihood of using a tool library. So the majority of respondents were either really likely to use a tool library, or at least they were neutral about it and didn't really have an opinion. So maybe if it's there, they would be likely to use it depending on the time in their life or anything like that. And then there's also a few that were somewhat unlikely as well. And we also surveyed what types of tools the library should offer. So the majority was home improvement. There was some gardening, some kitchen, and some craft, and then a few really small amount of woodworking and automotive as well. And so the good part about this is we also surveyed types of donations for tools, and the majority were for home improvement. And there were also some for gardening too. So those initial donations would really match up with what a lot of the community is wanting in a tool library right now. We also surveyed the objectives that the tool library should prioritize. And so the main one was reducing consumption. And then the next one was resources for others and communities. So definitely a lot was mainly those environmental and social benefits of what a tool library would be able to provide. And then there was teaching others, and there were several other people who had other specific objective ideas within the survey that they mentioned as well. We also surveyed what types of workshops the tool library should provide. And so a lot of them was sustainable living, and there's some really awesome organizations that we could work with within Sedona or within the Verde Valley to help promote this. Same with home improvement, maybe getting some specific volunteers to host a workshop. Right now, obviously, it's a little bit difficult, but I actually was talking to some other tool libraries who are kind of operating during everything going on right now. So a lot of it is you're picking up tools from the curbside. So mainly you're deciding what tools you want online, picking it up from the curbside. And then in terms of workshops, there's some that where people are socially distanced, they're all wearing masks, and they're usually in an outdoor facility or outdoor area. So that's an option, for starting workshops, even amidst everything going on, and also starting a tool library amidst everything going on. There's a lot of repair and fix it clinic ideas as well, which would basically be to have people take in tools maybe, and then they are fixed by different people, or they need something specific fixed, and people can fix their tools or anything else that they need fixed there at that workshop. And so a lot of them was focused on the environmental conservation, like energy conservation, sustainable living, and things like that. So that would definitely be a big focus for workshops that we would provide. And this is all of the different tools that were offered to be donated, actually. So it's at least 60 tools that people have offered to donate. So it's a really strong start to what a tool library might be. A lot of them are saws too. So they're definitely tools that would be very expensive to just buy on their own. There were also a lot of people that I didn't mention on here who said that they would whatever tools the tool library needed specifically, they would actually go buy or they would search on Craigslist. So that doesn't even include those people in it. So it's a really awesome foundation for all the tools that could be donated as well in the future. And this is the survey. So this is a link to the survey. And if you guys want that specific link too, I can totally send that out to you guys. But this is a QR code for it if you're interested in taking the survey or voicing your opinion or anything like that. And so I'll kind of leave it on this slide for right now. And then my next slide has the contact information and everything. But do you guys have any questions so far? Any opinions, comments, or anything like that?